Hi guys, it's Lisa with Have Yarn Will Travel. I'm back. I know I just looked back on my last video to see when it was, because I know it's been a while, and I think it was in January 13th. So I know, wow, it's been over a month and a half now. What's been happening? Oh, I guess I should say I'm YarnYenta247 here, obviously on YouTube, and YarnYenta247 on Instagram if you follow me or want to follow me, and on Ravelry I'm YarnYenta1. And this is episode 27 of Have Yarn Will Travel, and today is March 3rd, 2016. So, the last time I recorded, we were in Florida, in Jacksonville, and we spent the rest of January, we spent the whole month of January there visiting a dear friend, and just, you know, trying to enjoy somewhat of the winter months in Florida, but it was kind of cold and rainy a lot of the time. We did get to go to the beach just to sort of see it, and it was pretty. It was warm a few days, but not quite as warm as we were hoping. But right now we're in Tennessee. We're back actually in Nashville, which is where I was for November and December. I was working at Amazon. I think a couple videos ago, I think I talked about that. And we did just get new jobs. We're going to be working for, we actually are working for a gas company, going to different parts of the country to do gas leak checks. We're called travelers and survey technicians. So we've been training here for 2 weeks. No, God, 2 weeks. We've been training here. We were supposed to be training here for 2 weeks, but it's been actually a month. And originally when we got the jobs, we were told that we would probably be going to South Carolina for about 6 months to work there. And then just within the last week, we were asked if we had any interest in going out to Salt Lake City, Utah. And we jumped on that because it's always been our plan to go back out west. We were there the first year we traveled, and we had to come back east for some business and our house and all that, and if you've watched my other videos, you know all that stuff already. And so we were really excited when they offered this to us. So we are leaving actually on Saturday to head out to Salt Lake City, which is one of the reasons why I decided if I'm going to do a video, I better do it now, because once we get on the road, it's impossible usually, and I'm not sure when I get out there. You know, it may be busy at first, kind of getting used to the new place, the new job, and all of that. So I said, got some time. My hubby's over there actually sleeping. So if you hear some snoring, that's why. And it's pretty quiet. And that's actually one of the reasons why I have such a hard time doing videos more frequently, because it's really hard in the camper sometimes to find a time when it's quiet, to find the lighting when it's good, because that's really actually next to impossible. And I do apologize. The lighting isn't going to be great. I think it's going to kind of suck, but I just wanted to get this done. So I do apologize if it looks a little bit too glary, and I'm not sure if the colors of what I'm going to show you will be true. Excuse me. But I guess I just said I'm going to just go for it. So it is what it is, and I hope it's not too terribly. I hope it's not that bad in quality, but you know, it's what I have to deal with, and I really wanted to get this video done. So I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, the exciting news actually about going out to Utah is part of this job is we get travel, because we're taking our camper to live in, obviously, and so they do pay for our mileage to go out there, and the route that they kind of plan for us to travel from the southeast here out to Utah is through Albuquerque. And so if any of you, goes my son and my puppy dog, they're going outside. If any of you have seen my videos from last year, we were actually in New Mexico for from October through March. We just had a great time, and we really were, you know, happy to be there and really enjoyed it. And it turns out that the route they want us to go goes right through Albuquerque, so we actually are taking an extra week, and we're going to be visiting again with my dear college roommate for a while. We're going to park in her driveway like we did before, and visit, which was unexpected because we actually didn't think we were going to be going back out west for a while. So that's really exciting. I'm so happy to do that again. So I think that's kind of it for the traveling news. It's been kind of dreary here in Tennessee too. I mean, it is winter. I know it's warmer than it is where we were in the East, when we lived on the East Coast, or up north, I guess I should say. But it's been rainy and cold, and we've had a little bit of snow, and actually that has affected our work, because we can't do the surveying when it's raining or when it's snowing. So that we've had a few days here and there where we actually haven't been able to work. So hopefully in Utah we won't have too much problem with the rain. I'm thinking not. All right. So I do have, let me see, I did write some notes. So I can keep myself on task here, I guess. All right, so I guess we'll get on to the yarny, crafty stuff, which is probably more of what you guys have come here to see. And I actually do have an FO, and I'm very proud of this FO because it is a first for me. And it is my $5 in Paris sweater. This is my first sweater ever that I actually like more or less. I'm going to move this out of the way in case it's sort of in the way. Okay, I'll back up a little so you can see it. It's $5 in Paris. Few of you I'm sure know about this sweater. Actually, I was inspired by a number of you out there who did it last year. And actually I started this last year, and I think I finished it a year. I started, I think, in January of last year, and I finished it in January of this year. I think it's on my Ravelry page, so if you want to check it out and you're interested. This was done with Karen Simply Soft, and I used the Ocean colorway and the charcoal. Okay, what should I tell you about this sweater? Well, it is pretty. I have to say, I love the colors, and it did come out nice. I'm going to say that much. I don't really like how it fits, and I don't know if it's because if it's me or it's the sweater. I do know that when I started the increases, I needed to increase more, and I did that a little bit later. Like, I increased a little bit. I should have increased more. I probably should have tried it on more frequently, and I didn't do that. So that was one of my mistakes, which I will probably not do on the next sweater. If it's a top down, I'll try it on more frequently so I can get the sizing better. So it's a little narrower. Let me move that so you can, it's a little narrower, like in here. It just narrows out, and then it flares out a little at the bottom. You can probably kind of even see that if I hold it up. See how it's kind of a little more puffy there at the end, at the bottom. But I don't know. It definitely accentuates parts of me that I would rather not accentuate. It's also this kind of stripe, which, as you know, is not always the most flattering for bigger women. So it's very soft and comfy. Whether I will wear it, maybe to hang around the house. I'm not sure it'll be out in public unless I either stretch it out some more or lose some of that belly. I don't know. So that's my fight. But I'm proud of it because, I did it. I finished a sweater, so my first real, garment. And I'm definitely excited about making more sweaters. So that's that. So that's my FO for knitting. Now, I apologize if I've shown some of these before because I couldn't remember which ones I showed. So I'm going to show them all again. These are my granny squares for, if you know, the Ugly Blanket 2016 that's being sponsored by, I don't know if she wants to know that she's sponsored, but she started it. It's Amy Mingmao. She started the Ugly Blanket of 2016 craze, and I jumped on the bandwagon, and I have 5 squares done. I was going to try to do one a week, and I started, gung-ho in January, and I did 4, and then I only got 1 done for February. But it was supposed to be really 1 a month, so I'm still ahead of the game, I guess. Though I know some of you out there are just busting out your squares, and more power to you. Okay, so I'm just going to show the ones I have. So this is 1, 2, and I apologize because the colors, I don't know, they're not great. It's not great. You're not getting, 3. I know somebody said on a video, stop apologizing for everything, and I do tend to do that myself. Not that they were specifically speaking about me apologizing, but in general, YouTubers, some tend to apologize for everything all the time, and I guess it's sort of silly. But here we go. That's the other one, and then this is the one. This is my most recent one. So if you saw the others, this is actually the newest one that I just finished. Okay, and I just wanted to share with you my little technique for this. This is the one where you're just supposed to pick random colors, not supposed to be matchy-matchy and all of that. And some of you may know, because I've mentioned it, about I have a really hard time with that and giving up that kind of control. So I came up with my own little method. But because we live in this camper, and my son's going to be coming back in a minute, so it may be a little noisy. Because I can't keep all my yarn, obviously, in the camper. I actually stow it in some totes, in a lot of, I shouldn't say some, in quite a few totes. Oh, are you waving and saying hi?
Hi.
There he is. That's Adam. Toby, you want to come say hi? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Come here. Look. Say hi. That's Toby. Yes, that's my puppy do. Okay, say hi. Okay, go ahead. There you go. That's Toby. And you may see some kitty cats floating across. We've got 4. 2 of them. One's here. One's right there. Hi, that's Stripes. I know she looks huge, doesn't she, on this camera? So close. And that, where is she? Where are you, Misty? Oh, I don't know if you can see her. There's Misty. That's my Misty girl. And that's 2 out of the 4. I don't know where the other 2 are black. They kind of look a little like Fudge, Amy, if you're watching. One of them does. Anyway, those are my cats. Sorry, I digress. I was telling you about my little method here. Okay. As you can imagine, it's a camper. It's not a very big camper. And I have a lot of yarn. And maybe one of these days I'll do a little video of how I stow my stash. And some of you probably heard me say this before, when we downsized and moved into this camper, the first thing I packed, and this is not a joke, was my yarn. Because I knew if I could pack my yarn and what I wanted, then I would be okay with anything else. And I made room for the yarn, and if I had to give up other stuff, I was okay with that. So I do keep yarn out in totes. So when I decided to do this project with my scraps, I knew I couldn't just have a big bag of scraps because there's just no place for it. And I did kind of want it to be random about it. So what I did was I went and I took little snips, and I don't know if you can see here, but these are little snips of the scrap yarn that I have in a tote that I'm wanting to use on this blanket. And so I go into the little bag, and I try to do this with my eyes closed because I'm trying to be random, and I'll pick out, I'm using 4 colors per square, so I'll pick out 4 strands. I do get 1 throwback if I'm really not unhappy with one color, because sometimes just one was so glaringly awful that I have to change that, but only once. And I actually don't think I even have had to do that yet, but I'm allowing myself that much. Okay. And then I go out to where they're stowed out in the bin, and I pull the skeins that I picked from the scraps. So that's my little method for my Granny Square ugly blanket. Okay, so that's sort of a finished object. Even though the whole thing isn't finished, those are obviously finished. Now, on to my whips. So I'm going to talk about only the active whips. I actually have a couple of other ones that I haven't done anything with, either since the last time I did a video or even before that. And I did mention that my big goal this year is to start 2017 with nothing on the needles or the hook. Like, if I haven't finished it by New Year's, it's getting frogged. And I'm really trying to make sure that some of the projects that have been kind of lingering, I finish, because I really want to finish those. So that's sort of been my goal. I'm trying not to cast on too many new things before I finish some of the older stuff. So I do have some whips, some oldies but goodies, and I'll start with some of the older ones that I probably haven't shown. And maybe on Instagram I maybe showed a few pictures, but I haven't really shown any progress. And the first one is my, maybe take this off, I'm not sure if that'll help. This is and I wrote it down, it's the Okanagan Shawl by Marcia from Twitch and Stitch. She does a podcast with her sister, and she asked for people to do test knitting way back. And I was a test knitter. I did not finish. I did help her with the patterns, but I just never finished mine. I'm still working on it, Marcia. I'm not sure if she watches my videos, but so that is where I am. So I don't know. You know what? I'm going to put my little tie back on here because I don't want it to obviously fall off the needle. But the yarn that I'm using is some mill-end yarn that I'd gotten from a friend of mine, the friend I'm going to visit in New Mexico. She actually got this as a mill-end in Joann's. Her Joann's gets like, I got Noro from her mill-end, and this, which is called, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, but it's Shebsvo. And I want to say it's in the Invecta colorway. If I didn't look it up, but I think, if memory serves me, that's what it was. So I'm gonna it's really pretty. It's like a rainbow color. I mean, it's pretty much rainbow. It's got the red and the yellow and green and orange. And it's a really nice pattern. It's fun. It's a little, there's enough interest, but it, you know, you could also, I wouldn't call it like a mindless knit, because it's, you know, there are yarn overs, etc., because there are different lace patterns, but there's also some garter stitch and some stockinette stitch. And it's kind of a cowl shawl, she calls it, like, because it connects. And I'm actually up to the applied edge, so I'm almost done. I'm very close to being done. I think I have 20 rows. I think that's what the edge is. But I've never done that kind of an edging, and she gives really good instructions. But of course, it's something I have to actually pay attention to and focus on, and I just haven't really had the time or the brain function to work on it. But it is definitely actively being worked on, and I will finish this before the end of the year, and hopefully even sooner than that. So that's my Okanagan shawl. Okay. The next oldie but goodie that I've been working on is my color affection. And that actually I work on that for a little while. I hadn't in a really long time. And then somebody posts it on Instagram, and I'm like inspired again, because they just look so pretty when they're done. And it's not like it's a bad knit. It really is actually pretty good. It's just that when you're getting to the rows, they're long, and you know, one row takes quite a while. So that being said, I will show you the progress. Now, I actually had a little stitch marker in here. I should get one of those really nice, or make one of those really nice progress keepers that everybody has and shows. But anyway, this was where I was way back, I think the last time I did a video and I was actually working on this. I don't even remember how long ago that was. So I've done that this much since then. And this one I'm actually going to show you. I think I'll open it up because you'll get a better view. Okay. So I know there's lots of strings hanging. Let me see if I can get those out of the way. And I'm almost at I'm at the last short row repeat. And then there's one more section, and it'll be the mauve color, the dark. So I'm actually very close to being done with this too. And again, I just pulled it out recently, and I've done a few rows at a time. I think maybe I've done like 5 or 6 rows like in the last week or two. So I'm very determined to get this one done. And this one I'm using the Wool Egg, the Michael's Loops and Threads brand. And that's this kind. I don't know, you've probably seen I've showed this before. This is the charcoal. I'm using charcoal. I'm using rose and mauve. Those are my three colors. And I really like the Wool Egg. It's very soft. It's a rayon and wool. No, wait, rayon and acrylic, I think is the... Oh, no, nylon and acrylic. It's 85% acrylic, 15% nylon. And I'm thinking of trying a pair of socks with these, actually. Maybe some colorwork socks, because I have like one of every color. It was like a thing that I did when I first discovered this. I kind of wanted to have every color, and I think I finally accomplished it. And I got a really good sale too, and it's not expensive. It's a fairly inexpensive yarn. So that's Color Affection, and you keep those pictures coming on Instagram of yours if you're doing it, because that inspires me to pull it out and keep working on mine. And hopefully eventually it will become an FO. All right, onward. What else? Oh, okay. I am also making my third hitchhiker, and I guess I'm going to do, there's a hashtag Blame Ming Mao. I guess I could put this under that, because I think she started another one, and I'm like, oh, I really like that. Maybe I'll do another one. Somebody else then followed suit. So I, again, of course, jumped on the bandwagon, and I think I have 31 teeth done, and I'll show you. It doesn't fall off the needles. Oh, good. It's all tangled. Let me untangle it here. And I don't know if you're going to be able to tell the colors because of the lighting again, but it's like a peachy to a darker orangey color with purple. I've posted a few times on Instagram, so maybe you've seen it there. So this is, let me hold it up. It's hard to hold but show this. So this is my third hitchhiker. I've done 3. This one is actually not for me. This is a gift. And this is a gift for my friend that we're going to be visiting in New Mexico. I originally started this before I even knew we were going there, and I figured eventually I was going to send it to her. Now the pressure's on, because I obviously want to give it to her when we're there. We should get there. We're leaving Saturday. We're hoping to get there by like Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to be working on this in the truck while we're riding. Well, I'm riding, and my poor hubby does all the driving. And I think I can get it done. I probably won't have it like blocked or anything yet, because it'll be easier to block it when I get to her house. But I think I should have it done by the time we get there. So that's my hitchhiker. Okay, 2 more FOs. I started this one as a cal, and I'm not a cal, C-cal, crochet cal. It's the Adult Cardi by Bob Wilson 123, and I'm terrible with cals. I start them, I never finish them, or I'm not on time with any of them. So of course, this is another one of those. It was a 3-week thing. She's got tutorial videos. They're wonderful. Check it out. It's crocheted. This is, maybe I'll even try it on to show you. This is how much I've got done. I want mine longer than what hers originally is, and I made mine a little bit bigger because I like stuff big and roomy. I have to do the sleeves here too, obviously. But that's what I've gotten done so far, and I'm going to probably do maybe this much more in the bottom, because I want it to kind of cover my butt. I want it to go down below my butt, which is down there. So I could, I don't know, stand up so you can see it. There. Okay. So, and I still do the band. I'm not going to put buttons on because I probably won't close it, but that's it. Okay. So that's my Adult Cardi. I'm using Karen Simply Soft in the Persimmon colorway, and the Gray Heather is the sort of the contrasting little bit of accent color. Again, I'm doing a stash down, so none of these projects and none of the things that I'm working on or will start are new. It's all stash yarn, and this was yarn I had in my stash. It was left over from when I did the baby blankets. And it's fun. It's a really great crochet. I would highly recommend it. And again, another garment I might actually have completed. So that, oh, and I guess I have to show you because I haven't showed you my project bags. But I am behind, and that's the Val Cal, and that's Jake. I wrote her name down. J.L. Fleckenstein, and she's doing a Ravelry. She has she sells yarn, dyes yarn, and sells yarn, and she has a Ravelry and a website. And she started this obviously on Valentine's Day. It's really fun. I'll show you what I've gotten done so far. And these I'm using my Clover bamboos. I was going to tell you about my needles and I totally forgot, but that's all right. So this is what I've gotten done so far. Hold it back here. You see the little heart in there? Can you see that heart? I don't know. Maybe you can. See a heart? And so that's all I've gotten done. And this is, I think I'm on section B of the first clue. I had to rip it out twice because my count was all wrong, and I don't know. But now I think I'm okay. My count's okay. It's not really a hard knit. You do have to kind of follow the pattern, but there's a lot of repetition in the pattern. And it's actually, it's a really enjoyable knit. I wasn't happy I had to rip it out twice, but you know how that goes. So, and I'll tell you about the yarn. Let me just wrap this back up so I don't lose it, because I would really be upset if I lost my stitches. The yarn I'm using is, it's the Deborah Norville Serenity Sock, and it's in the, and I kind of balled it up here. Let's see, it's pretty. It's called I will see. Pink Sugar. Pink Sugar. Yeah, that's actually looking better. I think that it's closer. Now maybe you can see it better. I probably should have held that closer. There it is. And it's pretty. I really like it. I'm not really necessarily a pinky girl, but I'm kind of liking this. Like I said, I pick and stash yarn, so, and I think because it was Valentine's Day, some of the yarn that she was showing and selling to go with it was in the pinks and reds family, so that's why I kind of picked that, because I wanted to go along with it even though I wasn't buying any yarn. That's all, I think, for my whips. Alright, one enhancement, and I'm on a yarn ban. This is not, so I didn't break my ban because I do, this is actually an allowable thing. Because I get souvenir yarn whenever we travel, where, you know, I try to get yarn from every state we've traveled in, and I've been pretty successful. Excuse me while I adjust. So before we left Florida, I had to get my souvenir yarn. I went to a shop called A Stitch in Time, and it wasn't just yarn. It was also a needlepoint, needlecraft, cross stitch, all that stuff too. So it was kind of like, oh my God, heaven. And it's a wonderful shop. The ladies there are just lovely. A Stitch in Time. It's in Jacksonville, Florida. I bought one small skein because my plan is to make that memory blanket, to try to use fingering weight yarn or sock yarn or whatever from each place we've gone to, or if I've made a pair of socks while in that place. I haven't started it yet. It's all being stashed, but so that's why I didn't break my ban. I don't count that. So there we go. And it's really not showing up as nicely as it is. It's like different shades of blue and some like burgundy, maroon, purples. It's really pretty. It's Happy Feet in there. It's superwash merino and nylon, and it's 192 yards. And I might try to make a pair of Rose City Rockers out of it if I decide to make anything specific out of it. Like, you know, it's not enough to do a big, you know, it's not enough. I would have had to get 2 skeins, which they actually didn't even have another in this color, so I couldn't have bought another skein of it even if I wanted to. It might be enough for Rose City Rockers and still have enough to make at least 1 square, which is kind of my deal. Just as long as I have enough to make at least 1 square. That's kind of what I've been doing, because I bought some mini skeins from other places, so that's my enhancement. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you now, that's really the end of the crocheting and knitting part, because I do have some cross stitch. So if you are interested and want to stay for a few minutes, I'll show you that. And if not, that's okay. You know, feel free to buzz on out of here. And if you do go, thanks for watching and stopping by and chatting. And hopefully I'll be back maybe sooner than I was last time. And I'll see you soon, and hope you all have a lovely crafting weeks or month or however long it takes me to do another video. Maybe maybe a little sooner. Okay, and if you're staying, okay, I have gotten addicted to cross stitch. I started cross stitching again last year. Did a little bit. Oh, sorry, the cat just moved the camera. And stopped. I got partway through a very small little cross stitch, and I kind of stopped. And then of course just life, and I was busy, and I do my knitting and crocheting, sort of takes priority. So, but I decided to get the pumpkin stitchery, their new sal, the passport one, which started in January, and I've just been really enjoying cross stitching, really enjoying it. I mean, I've been doing more of that, I think, than a lot of other stuff. So I'm going to show you what I've gotten done so far, and that is where I am now. This is February, or January and February. January was UK, February is Paris, and now the new one that's come out is Holland, Netherlands. I haven't started it yet. I did finish February's in February. It was, I think, the 29th or maybe the 28th. And this isn't put together, and I'm not going to put it together, but this is a lap stand that Pam Reed did a YouTube video. If you're doing cross stitch, and she did a tutorial on how to make one of these really cheap. It was like under $10 for the supplies, and my husband made it for me. So that's that. I have another one, which I'm only going to show you a peek. Well, I'm not even sure. I don't even know if I'm going to do that, because it's for somebody who, it's a special thing. I'll show you its screen. For somebody who watches my videos, and I don't want her to know, or him. I'm not going to say who it is. So it's a surprise. So when it's all done and the recipient gets it and knows about it, I'll show it. I think that's it. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming, guys. And if I'm sorry I haven't been doing a lot of these. I missed it. I do miss it. And I watch all of yours as much as I can, and I love seeing you all on Instagram. And if you check me out on Instagram, because I do post more there And I guess that's it. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful, well, we'll have a wonderful week going towards the weekend. We'll be leaving, like I said, Saturday, and I don't know, I'll be probably posting pictures from our trip on Instagram, and I'm hoping to do a video, I don't know, sooner than later, I'm not sure. We start work on the 21st of March, so I don't know if I'll get anything before that. If I do, I'll see you. Otherwise, take care, I love you. Bye, happy crafting.